Good morning students and welcome back to your science lecture. Today also we will see class 7 science chapter number 6, that is physical and chemical changes. So in this chapter up to this we have learned various type of physical and chemical changes, and we have also seen various types of experiments and what happened during that experiment, that also we have discussed. And in our last lecture, we have discussed very important process, that is formation of alloy. It is as a prevention of rusting of iron. And we know that rusting of iron causes a lot of financial loss everywhere. Yes, and stainless steel, formation of stainless steel means formation of alloy is a very important for prevention of that financial loss. So in this lecture we will see a very important physical change, because it is a physical change, that is crystallization of copper salt. Crystallization of copper salt. It is a physical change, it is not a chemical change. Means only the form, size or shape of that substance will change in this process. So what is meant by crystallization, that we will discuss at first. So we know that formation of salt in the creeks of sea. Formation of salt in the creeks of sea. What is meant by creeks of sea? When at the coastal area, so this type of portion is formed by land. This type of portion is formed by land, and inside that portion of land, sea water is present there. Sea water is present here, and this portion is called specially creek of sea. Creek of sea. And in that creeks of sea, evaporation of that sea water takes place always, and because of that evaporation of sea water, we get salt, what we are using in our kitchen and everywhere. So that salt we get from the evaporation of sea water. But here at the creek, which salt is present by the evaporation of sea water, in that salt various types of impurities are present, and these are in the form of small crystals. These are in the form of small crystals and having various types of impurities. So for getting a pure crystals, big size crystals and pure form, for getting pure salt, it undergoes a physical process that is known as crystallization of salt. Crystallization of salt. So similar of this process, we have to see here crystallization of copper sulfate. So in that we will learn here that process of crystallization of copper sulfate. It is a physical process. Again I am telling this. So for that I have taken here one beaker. We have to take one beaker. It is having distilled water. It is having distilled water. Water is present in this beaker, distilled water, and we have to add very few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. It is a chemical formula of sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So in the distilled water we have to add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Then we have to give heat to that up to that mixture will boil. Yes. So we have to boil this mixture of dilute sulfuric acid and water, and after this heating we have to add copper sulfate powder, which is initially, now it is impure form. It is in impure form, that impure copper sulfate small crystals we have to add in that heated mixture of dilute sulfuric acid and water. So in that beaker we have to copper sulfate in this manner that the saturated solution will form there. Yes. So this much quantity we have to add. That after some time we will get saturated solution of copper sulfate. So what is meant by copper saturated solution? Means no more copper sulfate can be dissolved. Means if we are adding more and more copper sulfate, it get dissolved, and one stage it will acquire. At that stage no more copper sulfate can be dissolved. Yes. So you can do the experiment of saturated solution of sugar at your home. We have to add sugar in water, dissolve. We have to add sugar in water and dissolve. Again we have to add and again we have to dissolve. But one stage we will get there. At that stage no more sugar can be add in that water. Means now that solution will become saturated. But if we will give if we will give heat to that solution, again it will able to dissolve the sugar. But after heating also that particular stage will acquire. At that stage again no more sugar can be added in that solution, in that sugar solution. So at that stage that sugar solution is called saturated sugar solution. So similarly here we have to make saturated solution of copper sulfate. Means we have to acquire this stage of the solution, that in that stage no more copper sulfate can be added. So this stage is called saturated solution. So now we are having saturated solution of copper sulfate. After heating, after boiling this mixture and adding this copper sulfate, now we are having a saturated solution of copper sulfate. Now we have to keep aside that saturated copper sulfate solution. We have to rest that solution for some time, and we have to cool it. We can use ice bath also, ice water bath also, means cold water bath also we can use for cooling process. So after some time, after resting this solution and we have to let it cool, and then we can observe those crystals, big size crystals we will appear at the bottom of this beaker. So at the end what will happen here? At the bottom of this beaker, the crystals of copper solution, copper sulfate, bigger crystals of copper sulfate we will get here at the bottom of this saturated solution. And then we have to filter that solution. And then after filtration we will get the bigger size of copper crystals here. And these are the pure form. This is the pure form of copper sulfate crystal, and it is blue in color. Yes, blue crystals we will get finally. So I will repeat again this process. At first we have to take here one beaker. It is full of water, that is distilled water. Then we have to add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Then we have to heat that solution up to it will boil. Then after boiling that solution, we have to add impure copper sulfate small crystals, and we have to add this much quantity that after some time we will get saturated solution. And saturated solution means no more copper sulfate can be added in that solution. This stage of the solution is called saturated solution. So when that solution gets saturated, we can filter that for removing some impurities by the filter paper, and that filtrate we have to keep aside for the rest and let it to cool, and after cooling we will get some big crystals of that copper sulfate that are accumulated, that are deposited at the bottom of this beaker, and these crystals are nothing but a bigger sized crystals of pure copper sulfate crystals. Okay, these crystals are pure form of copper sulfate crystals. Okay, so this process is known as crystallization of copper sulfate, and this process is very common in the formation of crystals. So here we will see that this process we can use in the formation of salt also, that we have discussed, and now this crystallization of copper sulfate we have seen. So students, all these steps you have to note down in your notebook, what we have done here, what we have taken here. From first step, all steps you have to note down in your notebook, and then finally we got the pure blue crystals of copper sulfate, that also you have to note down. After filtration we got the pure copper sulfate blue colored crystal. So one question arises here, student. Here we added dilute sulfuric acid. Yes. So what is the cause? Why we use dilute sulfuric acid in this process? In the process of that formation of crystals, crystallization of copper sulfate. Why we use dilute sulfuric acid? Few drops of dilute sulfuric acid during the crystallization of copper sulfate. So what are the causes? So that is also very important, that we will discuss here. So we know that sulfuric acid is a very good solvent, very much good solvent. Sulfuric acid. And what is the chemical formula? H2SO4. And this H2SO4 we have taken here in dilute form. Only few drops we have taken. But what is the cause? What is the reason for what we have taken this? That we will discuss. We know that it is a very good solvent. So that if as we use that sulfuric acid, it will dissolve the impurities which are present in the impure form of copper sulfate. We are using here impure form of copper sulfate, that we know very well. We are making the pure crystals of copper sulfate. So that initially we have taken impure form of copper sulfate. So many types of impurities may be present in that copper sulfate. So these impurities like copper oxide, it get dissolved in sulfuric acid, as it is a good solvent. Solvent means the substance in which anything can dissolve. That is called a good solvent. Yes. So dilute H2SO4 or sulfuric acid is a very good solvent. That's why it is able to dissolve impurities of that copper sulfate in it. Yes. very important cause. And again one thing is there. Second thing is that if the water is basic in nature, somehow basic in nature. Yes, if the water is, means in water we know that calcium, magnesium, like that in minerals are present in the form of their hydroxide also they can present. So because of that the nature of water may be basic. So this basic nature of that water get neutralized by the addition of dilute H2SO4. We know that when acid is added and when acid is reacted with base, neutralization reaction takes place there. Yes, means that basic impurities present in the water get neutralized by the H2SO4 which we have added in the crystallization of copper sulfate. So that is also very important cause. The basic nature, if it is basic nature, then only basic nature of water, if it is water get neutralized by dilute sulfuric acid. Yes, get neutralized by dilute sulfuric acid. So for this reason we are adding dilute sulfuric acid during the process of crystallization of copper sulfate. So this is very important. These are the very important point that also you have to note down in your notebook. And again, as usual, you have to read now whole lesson. This topic you must read. But with that whole lesson, again you have to read from your NCERT textbook. Yes. So this was about the physical and chemical changes, and one physical change also is there that we have to discuss, that is burning of knife or any iron metal surface. So for that this is activity in your textbook. This is the activity 6.5. This is activity 6.5. We will discuss now. It is also physical change. It is also physical change 6.5 activity, that is physical change. So in this activity, what is there? We have to, it is a burner, yes, and we have to burn any metal surface. 1 minute, we will light one candle and I will show you this activity. Wait. See here, I will give heat to this to that surface of knife, and this is a blade. So we will give the heat to that. So observe what I am doing here. Here I have taken one knife and I am giving heat to it. Yes. So Are you watching something here? Are you watching? Now, after giving heat, after burning this metal surface, some changes occurred here. Can you observe that change? What happened? The color of the surface of that knife is changed. The color of the surface of that knife is changed here. Why? Because some changes happen here. Because some changes happen. But this change is not a permanent change. It is a temporary change. After some time, it will acquire its original color. After some time, we can remove that coating so that we can say it is a physical change. It is not a permanent change. That's why we can say it is a temporary change. It is a physical change. We can do this experiment also with that blade. Yes, the color of that blade is changed here, and here we can see it is a physical change because after some time it will remove. It can be removed and it will acquire its original color, its original state. That's why this burning of that metal surface is a physical change. So, this was your 6.5 activity. In that you have to give heat to the surface of that metal. Yes. So here different colored coating acquired, blackish grayish color coating is acquired. So this coating is not a permanent change. It is a temporary change. That's why it is a physical change. Note down this also. And I hope you understood all that physical and chemical changes what we have discussed in this chapter, and all that things you should note down and you should learn and you should prepare each and every topic very well. Okay? Thank you.